Hey, it's Gayle. You a grief girl. How you doing? You okay today? I'm happy to see you. I'm okay today too. I guess. I had an interesting day. I'm sure you did too, right? So you can always just start talking to me. Check in with me about how your Wednesday was. So, I'm working in a middle school, and in Laurel, Maryland. And you know how hey, hey everybody, it's Gayle. Like I got to tell you who I am, right? And I had the seventh graders all gathered in a classroom, and I read a poem to them about. The poem was really just lines and lines and lines and lines, just beautiful lines, right? But right in the middle of it was like a kapow line, like a line, like this is what I'm really trying to tell you. So okay, let me back up. So the poem was about how my sister named me, my big sister, and a hurt between us, a hurt that we had gone through. So it's like line after line after line, and then boom, there it is. All of a sudden, there's this hurt that me and my sister experienced. Anyway, so I told the seventh graders that I wanted them to write just beautiful lines, right? Just pick anything and just write about it. And then somewhere in the midst of it, just hit us in the gut with what you're really trying to tell us. So they took about 5 or 6 minutes of writing. Hey, y'all, it's Gayle. Yeah, we're doing Wednesday this week because I'm doing a performance tomorrow night. So don't get thrown off. I'm your girl every day of the damn week. Anyway, so I went around the classroom, and the seventh graders were reading their pieces. So the room kind of stood still for a little bit, y'all. And a young man let us know that he wanted to share what he had written. So he started reading, and the piece is, about a ship and how sometimes the ship comes in, but sometimes the ship doesn't come in. And he said, my daddy's ship never came in. The ship just wavered through the water, out of control. And the ship never found its way home. And of course, this ship is his father. This young man has lost his father. And he didn't just want to say to us, I've lost my father. So he used, a roundabout way to let us know that his dad is dead. Damn, y'all. Damn. And thank God it was the end of the day, right? And they were packing up to leave, and his classmates were very respectful. They kind of held a sacred space in that room while he shared. And now I want you to keep in mind that nobody knew that this young man, this seventh grade young man, I got the cat behind me. Hey, but hey, sweet thing, you lost your mommy too. So nobody knew, even the teacher. She didn't know either that he had lost his father. And so they're packing up to leave. And when it's just the teacher and me, the two of us just break down. Y'all, this grief thing ain't no joke, is it? It ain't no joke. And our children are grieving too, right? We think that we're hurting. I'm 52 years old, so I've walked the grief highway before. But what if you were in 7th grade? What if I were in 4th grade? That's a whole nother story, right? That's a whole nother poem. That's a whole nother level of grieving. And I want you to think, y'all, just for a second about the shootings that have taken place in our schools. That's not just, I lost my grandmama grief. That's something else. You know what I want? I feel like you and me, we getting closer, right, over these weeks. And so I'm going to tell you what I really, really want. And you tell me too. I want to go to Parkland. Can you imagine? I want to take my poetry and my heart and my story and my compassion and my love to Parkland. And I want to close the door and I want to get in one of those classrooms with those babies. And I want to open my ears to them. And I want to say to them, look, I brought something for you. Look, I got some words for you. Look what you can do with your pain. Look, see what I've done with my pain? Tell me about yours. So if any of you can help me get to Parkland, let's make that happen. Because we ain't known no grief now. And I'm not trying to minimize what you are going through and what I'm going through, right? Losing mama. But we ain't seen nothing like what those Parkland children are going through. We need to reach out, don't we? We need to reach out because we are now sensitive. The deaths that we have experienced, listen to me, the deaths that we have experienced have tenderized us, have made us more sensitive to the hurt and the agony of others. I'm going to get to Parkland and I'm going to report back to y'all. I'm going to let you know when I'm going. And I'm not going to fly, so don't even don't think about it. I'm going to get in a car. I looked it up today, and Parkland is only about, I think, 45 minutes from Miami. So if I can get my brown behind down to Miami, and then I can, get in a car and get over to Parkland. But you know how it is once you've lost somebody. When you start setting goals, you start achieving those things, right? Because you understand that life ain't forever. So I'm going to get there. If you can help me get there, let's work that out. Anyway, so listen. This is Gayle, your grief girl. You know me by now. Are you falling in love too? I'm falling in love with y'all. You know what? I don't always read your comments over the air because, as you know, when you're doing a Facebook Live, it's kind of distracting to try to read and reach out. And I want to touch you. I want you to know that I'm a real person here, right? And so trying to read, every now and then I'll do that. But don't think I'm ignoring you because as soon as I finish with you, every Thursday, it's just tonight that we're doing Wednesday. When I finish, I go through y'all. So whatever it is that you want to say to me, you just send it. Just post it. Just send it. Because I read it. I get touched by what you send me. I cry when I read what you send me. We're helping each other, y'all. I ain't the only one at the party. So tonight, let's me and you talk about new words for old stuff. I call this say word, right? Say word. That's say word, right? Because I feel like the terms that we have been using, condolences, give me some of the other words that are associated with losing a loved, bereavement, homegoing. Give me some of them. Let me see. Hey, Elise. Lord have mercy. Come on. Give me some, Elise. Just suffer the loss. I'm here with you, baby. I feel like some of the words that we've been using, they're so trite. They're so dead. pardon the pun, that we need to come up with some new words, right? Because once you can name what you're going through, once you can put words to your experience, you can somehow manage it a little bit more. Now listen to me, listen to Gayle. I'm not saying to you that grief is something that you can always manage, because then I'd be lying. What I'm saying to you is, I think if we can somehow, if you can somehow find a way to name, to put words to the experiences that you are having after losing daddy, after losing mama last week. Come on, y'all. Come on, invite your friends to come on in. This is our circle. This is our club. Invite them. You know who needs to be right here, sitting right here with us. If we can name the experiences that we are having through this walk, then somehow I think we can. What do we do, y'all, when we name something? We can bite down. We can bite down on the steak. So the steak isn't all over the place and knocking you upside the head. It's something that's big. Hell yeah. But it's something that ain't gonna eat you up. That's it. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. So, okay. Hang in there with me. Let us rename some of these grief processes. Okay? The chair that I'm sitting on is very wobbly. Would you laugh if I fell? Because you know me. If I fall, I'm just going to pop back up and be like, and I'm back. Because I don't want to waste a minute being with you. But this chair is wobbly, so just know it. You like these big old, look at the lashes. The lashes. Woo. The lashes. Okay, so let's start with the grief that happens when you know that your loved one is about to die. As far as I know, there is no word for that. So type in, come in, let's come up with a word for it. I mean, because we all have gone through it, right? Some of us a whole bunch. So let's see. That period when the loved one is in the process of dying and you feel real out of control because all you want to do is stop it. All you want to do is take grandma by the shoulders and say, no, not yet. Don't go. No. Don't leave. Stay. I didn't say the last I love you. And then she slips away. Poof. What's a good word for that? Should we call it pre-grieving? Preef. Prief. Is that a good one? Preeving. For that pre-grieving period when the death is inevitable. Lord have mercy. Remember that? Remember when the doctor came into the room and told you that a big chunk of your life was about to go away? Remember that? Like after all that fighting that daddy did, and all that struggling, right? And all that back and forth, and all that hope, and then all that no hope, and all that throwing up, and all that. And you knew it was coming. I'm going to tell y'all something. For me, the period where I knew that mama was dying and there was no way around it was worse. Listen to me. Was worse than when she actually died. God. Right? I mean, I couldn't sleep. And now I look at myself, right? And I look at you, right? I look at you, Maurice, and I realize that even though we have been through the unthinkable, right? Like you stood there and you were at the hospital and you were holding your auntie's hand and then she left. And you were stunned. But look at us, y'all. Look. Look. We made it. We made it. What about the awful, raw grief that feels like blood coming, gushing out of every part of your body right after they die? What about that? There was a great doctor, Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, right? You know who I'm talking about. And she wrote books where she put words to the stages of grief. But I want you and me to put some words in there that she left off. And now the great Dr. Ross has passed away, so we can't go to her and get these words. So between you and me, how about a word for that raw, bleeding, fresh grief where you can't even see? Where you're trying to drive and you can't even see because it almost feels like a curtain of blood is in front of your eyes. Everybody's coming into the house. Everybody's bringing sweet potato pie. And you are wondering, why in the fuck are you all bringing sweet potato pie and my daddy just died? You're not even mad yet. You're not even sad yet because you're just bleeding. It's like little holes all over you where blood is squirting out. What shall we call that, y'all? What shall we call the initial phase of grief? Right after that, when the death is so fresh, your sister's body is still warm. What shall we call it? Let me see if you all are sending me, deflated. Deflated. Let me see here. Hang on. A raw grief, bleeding grief, bleed grief, bleed grief, blood, blooding, bleeding, bleeving, bleefering, bleeding, bleefering. Yes. How's that? Bleefering. When the grief is raw and you feel like you're bleeding from every orifice in your body. How about the day-to-day grief, right? When you start having to settle in on that thing, right? When it's been, maybe a couple of months, maybe a couple of weeks, and you are no longer waiting by the phone for your best friend to call you, right? Right, Miss Toya? I've given up. I no longer believe that you're going to call me. God. Sometimes, y'all, I say things during these every other Thursday broadcasts, and they just blow my head off. They just throw me for a loop, and I have to stop for a minute and breathe. But what about that day-to-day grief when you just, you are maybe having trouble getting out of bed, or maybe you just getting up out of bed. Maybe that's all you can do is get up, act as if you're going to brush your teeth, and then lay back down. What about that maintenance grief? I wrote a few terms down. Okay, what I have here is ouch. But that's different from that day-to-day, you just riding in the boat kind of grief. You're just rowing along kind of grief. The ouch grief, I don't even have to tell you what that is, but I will. That's when you're at the bank and the teller hands you your money. You've cashed your paycheck, so you ought to be happy. And then suddenly somebody walks in the bank and they smell like your mama and you're jacked up. It's like a sucker punch. It's a jab. I call it an ouch, but you might have another word for it, because here it is, y'all. Here it is, family. My grief might feel different than your grief. So your term might be different. I'm just thinking that at least we ought to work toward a common language, so that when I come on here and I hang out with you every other Thursday at 7 p.m., we can speak the same language. Get it? Or we can at least try to speak the same language. Right? Well, we're family here. We're family. And ain't nothing that I won't say to you. And it's nothing that I want you to hold back from me. If I name something wrong, if I say something wrong, like, listen, I didn't like a few seconds ago, rewind, when I just said, sometimes I say things to you and it blows my head off. Sometimes I say things to you and I have to catch my breath, because it feels so true for me, because it resonates for me. And I have to catch my breath. Okay? So I need to watch myself too. So, okay. We gave it an ouch, right? That's that sneaky grief. When you're on a date, grief, and all of a sudden the grief comes and it clips you right there, grief. So unexpected, so sneaky, so mean, Mean grief. Mean. Right? Score one. Mean grief. Yeah. I'm thinking, I just put my arms up and I was thinking like, Gayle, have you shaved under your armpits? That's what I thought when I put my arms up. So and then I laughed. Let me put them back down. What about stocking up? Right? Some of you right here with me now, your grief is fresh, right? Your grief is fresh. My grief, kind of fresh. Mom died in June, right? So kind of fresh. But some of you, your grief is fresh, right? And there's this thing where when anniversaries start rolling around, the loved one's birthday, you all's wedding anniversary, the first time you did so and so, the first Thanksgiving without Uncle Bill. So you start kind of preparing because you know it's coming, right? So you know that grandmama's birthday is coming. March 18th, it's coming, right? And so you start kind of stocking up for it, right? You kind of, start hardening up because you know it's coming. So I call that stocking up. It's like a preparing for the grief. But that ain't got nothing to do with the ouch grief, right? Because the ouch grief don't care about your stocking up. The ouch grief is like, boom! You thought you was going to get a laugh at work. Bam! What? The ouch grief is like, you thought that you were going to stop at this red light and this song was going to come on the radio and you wasn't going to cry. Bam! Right in the middle of your forehead. There you go. That's an ouch. That's different from stocking up. Can I share something with you? So, last weekend, I went home to Atlanta, and I had the task of clearing out my mother's things. And this was the first time I had been home since Mama died. And I was telling everybody, because I'm a talker, right? I process my pain with my mouth. And so I was telling everybody, it's going to be hard. Saturday's going to be, pray for Miss Gayle. It's going to be hard. Isn't it going to be hard? Oh my. And I even I wrote a poem about, taking the inventory of my mother's things, right? I'm going to see her last bar of Dove soap, and I'm going to see mama's pink blouse, and I'm going to see mama's red shoe. Well, not red shoe, because my mama would never wear a red shoe, but you know what I mean, the inventory. And I was so stocked up, y'all. I was so prepared. Let me lean in so I can see you. Guess what happened? It wasn't sad at all. As a matter of fact, me and my daughter got some laughs. We were like going through stuff like, what? Let me find out grandma had a little boyfriend. What? I like that shirt. Oh, no. This perfume right here, this perfume is what you wear when you want to put on perfume once a month and you don't want to bother with it no more. So sometimes, y'all, we stock up and we're so ready for it. We're so ready for the punch that when it happens, it could never be as bad as we thought it was going to be. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So maybe, listen to me, maybe stocking up isn't so bad after all. Maybe that's a way of kind of arming yourself. You know what I mean? Of girding your loins for the big one. So what we got? We got stocking up. We got the grief-aversary, birth-aversary. We got the ouch. What is that? Oh, the visit. You know what I'm talking about. The visit. That's when they come to you in your dream. That's when they come to you when you're sleeping. And the dream, right? It's not like your other dreams, right? All crazy and disjointed. I think in the visit dream, where they're stopping by to check on you, first of all, I happen to think that the visit dream is real. I don't think it's just a swirly, curly, weird thing of your imagination. I think that when Uncle Joe visited, he was actually coming to hang out with you, to reassure you that he's okay, to make sure you all right, because you've been crying so hard, your eyeballs are down there at your knees. So just to check in with you. Isn't it wonderful? Don't you love well, pause. The visit is kind of wonderful, but on the other end of the visit is the wake up. I remember the first time I had a visit, right, from my friend Donald Griffin, and it was so real. I knew it was real. I knew that he was actually coming to hang out with me, right? And then I woke up. And I was pissed off. Right? And you were pissed off. Right? Because it's like a cruel joke. It's like a joke that the universe is playing on you. Like, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. And then you want to jab somebody. Wait a minute. I thought my cousin was actually here. And now I wake up and find it was just a dream. But you know what I've decided to do, y'all? And some of this grief work is really just a decision that you make, right? It's just I have decided. Listen to me. Angela, I hope you're on with me. Angela Williams. I'm calling Angela Williams. Angela lost a great man. Hey, June, hang in there, baby. What was I saying to you before I started talking to y'all? I've decided that when I get the visit, instead of being pissed off, I'm just going to be grateful. How about that? I'm just going to say, well, thank you, Mama, for stopping by. I'm okay. You all right? I'm glad to see you all right. And oftentimes, have you noticed in the visit, the person looks really good, right? Like I've never had a visit with a capital V where the person came and they looked bad. They always look good, right? They always look renewed. They never come looking the way they looked the last time you saw them. So for that, y'all, let's be grateful. Let's be grateful for that. Let me see what y'all are saying to me. Courtney says, oh, it's real, to be sure. My father came to me in Mexico. I felt it through me. It was real. Oh, I love it. Courtney said it was real, y'all. And I think you all can read each other's comments. Look at that. We just family. We just making family in here, y'all. Talking about things that other people want us to hush about. Shh. You don't talk about grief. Keep that shit inside. No. Screw that. We talk about grief. I talk about it every other Thursday. And every day in between as I get ready for you. See, I get ready for you. I take my notes and I get ready for you. I picture you, right? I prepare for you because you're important to me. You're part of my family. You're part of my healing. I hope I'm part of yours. Come on, let's lean in. You know how Miss Gayle do. Come on, you ready? On the count of 4. You know how I do. 1, 2, 3, 4. You ready? Bring it in. Bring it in. Come here. Bring it in. Bring it in. That's right. Bring it in. Let me see what we got. Risa says, this is perfect timing for me. Woo. March 19th is the date of my mom's passing. I love you too, Risa. I hope Mama pays you a visit. And I hope that it doesn't piss you off when it happens. I hope that Mama's visit leaves you feeling grateful, Risa. Leaves you feeling better. Leaves you feeling reassured that Mama is fine. Risa, our mamas are fine. Risa, what if our mamas are hanging out? Wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, man. Let me see what else I have, y'all. We said stocking up. Oh, Flove. F-L-O-V-E. Flove. You know what that is? That's final love. That's the final love. That is, I mean, you know, love is never final, right? It's never ending. And whatever it is that you shared with the loved one throughout their lives, it doesn't go away. It continues, right? I haven't stopped talking to my mama, and you haven't stopped talking to yours. And we shouldn't stop talking to them. Those people who we are mourning, they never said, now, I want you to love me until I die. And then once I die, I want you to stop loving me and stop talking to me and stop reaching out to me. No. The relationship goes on. It changes. It changes form. Now, instead of having to drive to hang out with your cousin's best friend who you were very close to, now you can just bring him with you wherever you go. Now the friendship, now the love, now the relationship changes form. At least that's what I tell myself. It helps. It helps. Every little bit helps. Flove. Okay, back to it. F-L-O-V-E. Final love. So that is all of the things that we do as we prepare for the loved one to pass away. So all of those things that we do. Like what? I don't know. Name them. What do you do when you're preparing? When you know that this is it. This person is going to die. What do? I guess you start, in my case, I started writing a whole bunch of poetry to my mama. I actually, once I got to her bed, and thank you, those of you who went with me, I posted it, and I was like, 4 hours away, 1 hour away. Mama, hold on. Mama, hold. You remember last summer? And some of y'all rode with me. I will never stop thanking you for that. I needed you with me in that car. In whatever shape or form you were able to attend, I appreciate it. Anyway, so final love, right? So you start like making peace. You understand that they can still hear you when you're speaking to them. So you say all of those forgiving things. You were a good father. I am so grateful to God for you. I wish that you were not going. Let me tell you a little something. I'm going to whisper this a little bit to you. Shh. When my mama was dying, and she was struggling to die. I don't know if you all were by the bed when you lost your loved one. My mama was struggling to die, just like somebody struggling to give birth. She was struggling to die. She was ready to go. You know what I said to her? I said, Mama, you can go. I sure did, y'all. I sure did. I said, go ahead, Mama. You can go. Because she was struggling. She was struggling. She was flinching and she was struggling. And so I released her. And that I don't regret. I don't regret. Now, I'm not the one. I'm not your girl to say she's in a better place. I told you the first time you and me talked, I told you I don't know that for sure. Because to me, the better place, I'm selfish. The better place is right there. But I talk about the bleeding grief, the pre-grief, bleeding grief. What y'all saying to me? My classmate Kimberly said, every day. So was my mother. Risa said, giving permission was a loving act. Risa, baby, I loved Lucille Danley the best I could. What about the repass? That is long overdue for a new word. Do you know what the repass is? When people, they come in and they bring the food and you don't eat none of it because you ain't thinking about food at that time because you in your bleeding grief. But can y'all help me come on with some new words for the repass? Because I don't know what that means. And listen, don't come on here trying to be smart talking about the repass is from the Latin meaning repository, meaning eat after your granddaddy dies. I mean, let's come up with a word that really captures what a repass is. The after party? No, the aftermath, the try to eat but you can't gathering, the grief gathering, the eat nothing but pretend to be eating something because everybody is worried about you event. Grief eat. Oh, wait. I had a term for you. I thought about it at work earlier today. Degriefing. Got it? Degriefing. So instead of debriefing, it's degriefing. And that's when you're kind of going through your mental checklist or your heart checklist to kind of check in and see how you're doing. So you know what? Let's me and you, when we meet here every other Thursday, and start telling your grieving friends as well so they can come and get some of this good stuff. It's like an apple pie. Gayle serving pie, right? So degriefing is where you kind of go through your checklist and you check in. How are you doing? How is your grief doing? How you doing? How you hanging? How you managing or not managing? How you feeling? So that's degriefing. Yay! Don't you think that is like the best term out of all the ones that I've come up with so far? Degriefing. Let me see. Are you all giving me some? Remembering the good times. Ooh, a term, Kim, for remembering the good times. So you're hurting, but you're also remembering the good times. Heart. So I'm trying to. We're trying to come up with a word for when you've lost somebody you love, and then you're trying to remember the good times so that you don't lose your mind. I can't think. I'm a poet. I should be able to think of a term. Help me. A term for you've lost someone and you got to put some good memories. You got to pull up the good memories so that you can survive. Grief on. Memorializing. That's it. What you think of that? Memorializing. Memory, memorial, memorializing, memorizing. Okay, now I'm on a roll. Memorizing. Well, maybe it's all just love. Maybe it's all just love. Loving mama, loving daddy, loving auntie, loving husband, loving wife, even after they've died. Like I love you. Like I love you, right? I'm going to give you a little assignment for Thursday after next, right? Here, you ready? Write this down. Get your pen. I'm going to give you an assignment from Gayle, your grief girl. I want you to start noticing what your grief looks like. Just notice it. Like when it comes and how it tastes and how it feels. And I want you to start noticing. One of my girlfriends called it loving your grief. Like not fighting it, but loving it, living with it, leaving, grieving, living, grieving, leaving. And then when you come back to me, not next Thursday, but the Thursday after, that'll be like the second Thursday in April or something. God, we got to wait a long time. But when you come back to me, let's talk about how we're living. How we're living. What's happening? My stupid phone. Hold on, y'all. My phone is dumb. Hold on. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. I thought I had turned it off, but obviously I hadn't. All right, so I want you to just start noticing your grief. Don't fight it. Just ease in it. Just be in it, because you're going to be in it for a while, right? Not the raw grief. You won't be in that forever. But, you just riding with it and just see where you can go with it. And just know, at every turn, every corner, every intersection, you're not by yourself. We have each other, and you have already begun assembling your team, right? We talked about that. Assembling the team of those who love you, and when you need them, they are there, right? You're not by yourself. I'm not by myself. I have you, and you have me, and we're going to be all right. I love you. I'm going to sign off now and go make me some dinner and hope I don't get sucker punched. Hope I don't get ouched. But if I do, I'll be okay. I'll make it through. You will too.